Welcome back to the Pathfinder. If you love powerful stories, deep emotions, and unforgettable Turkish dramas, you're in the right place. Before we begin our countdown of the top 5 Turkish series about forced marriage, make sure to support the channel by subscribing. Your support helps us keep exploring hidden gems from around the world. Now, let's start with number 5 on our list. Number 5. Fatmagül'ün Suçu Ne. Fatmagül'ün Suçu Ne is one of the most intense and emotionally charged Turkish series ever created. The story follows Fatmagül, a young woman whose life is shattered after a tragic assault that leads to a forced marriage with Karim, the man indirectly involved in the nightmare. What begins as a painful bond slowly transforms as Fatmagül fights for justice, healing, and her own identity. Best part. The strongest part of this series is its emotional realism. The acting, especially by Baron Saat, hits deep. The show doesn't rush the healing process or the complicated relationship between Fatmagül and Karim. Their gradual transformation from trauma and resentment to understanding and rebuilding hope is beautifully delivered. It's raw, powerful, and unforgettable. Even though the story is iconic, it sits at number 5 because the themes are extremely heavy. While meaningful, the intensity might make it hard for some viewers to rewatch. The pacing, especially in the middle episodes, can also feel slow compared to newer Turkish dramas with tighter storytelling. The cons, to my opinion, some episodes could have been shorter, with fewer repetitive scenes. The show could also have explored more of Fatmagül's personal growth outside the romantic storyline. More important, the series could have benefited from tighter editing, especially in the middle episodes where the storyline becomes repetitive. Also, while the romance is important, more focus on Fatmagül's personal journey. Her education, career, and inner transformation would have made her growth even more inspiring. Coming in at number 4 on our list is the iconic Turkish drama Sıla, a series that blends forced marriage, tradition, power, and forbidden love into one unforgettable story. Sıla follows the life of a young woman who was taken from her biological family as a child and raised in Istanbul by a wealthy couple. Years later, she is suddenly brought back to her birthplace in Mardin under the false promise of visiting her real family. What she doesn't realize is that she's walking straight into a forced marriage with Boran, the powerful tribal leader, in order to settle a blood feud. While Sıla is a fan favorite and a massive international success, it sits at number 4 because the storyline sometimes becomes repetitive, especially with the ongoing tribal conflicts. Some episodes feel stretched, and the same threats and arguments can appear multiple times. However, the emotional tension, cultural backdrop, and evolving romance firmly secure its place in the top 5. If you enjoy slow-burn romance mixed with tradition, conflict, and powerful character chemistry, then definitely give Sıla a shot. It's one of those series that pulls you in before you even realize it. At number 3 on our list is the explosive and emotional Turkish series, Hercai. A story built entirely on revenge, betrayal, passion, and, yes, a forced marriage that changes everything. Hercai follows Miran, a man raised to avenge his parents' death. Believing the Şadoglu family is to blame, he targets their innocent daughter, Reyhan. Pretending to fall in love, Miran marries her under false intentions, only to abandon her on their wedding night as part of his revenge plan. But what begins as a cold and calculated act soon spirals into chaos as Miran realizes that Reyhan is nothing like the enemy he expected. Her kindness, innocence, and quiet strength turn his world upside down. Taking the number 2 spot on our list is the gripping drama Uzak Şehrin Masalı, a series filled with emotional twists, unexpected alliances, and a forced marriage storyline that takes viewers deep into themes of survival, trust, and rebuilding life from the ashes. The story begins with Umay, a strong and determined woman who escapes from her abusive husband after years of emotional and physical torment. She returns to her family home in a remote town, hoping to start over with her sisters and rebuild her shattered life. But everything changes when Kürşat, a mysterious and wounded man on the run, suddenly appears in their small town. With dangerous enemies tracking him, he and Umay are forced into a hidden partnership, and eventually a forced marriage created out of necessity, protection, and survival. This series ranks so high because of its emotional realism and its powerful portrayal of broken people finding comfort in each other. The forced marriage element feels believable and meaningful rather than exaggerated. However, it doesn't quite reach the #1 spot because the show had a shorter run, which prevented some story arcs from reaching their full potential. The pacing towards the end could have been more balanced. Certain storylines feel rushed, while others deserved more time to develop. The series would have also benefited from a longer season, allowing more exploration of the secondary characters and a deeper dive into Umay and Kürşat's relationship after the forced marriage. If you want a more mature romance filled with emotion, mystery, and two people learning to trust again, definitely give Uzak Şehrin Masalı a watch. It's short but unforgettable. And finally, at the very top of our list, #1 goes to one of the most talked about and addictive Turkish dramas of recent years, Yalı Çapkını. This series took the world by storm with its explosive mix of romance, drama, family pressure, and of course, an unforgettable forced marriage storyline. Yalı Çapkını follows Ferit, a spoiled and carefree young man from a powerful, wealthy family. His reckless lifestyle becomes too much for his grandfather, who decides the solution is to force him into marriage so he can finally grow up. Seyran, a strong-willed girl from a humble background whose family sees the marriage as a chance for a better life. What starts as a forced marriage built on duty and family pressure quickly turns into a battle of personalities. Ferit's impulsiveness clashes with Seyran's fiery pride, creating tension, heartbreak, humor, and eventually a deep, magnetic love neither of them expected. Their relationship evolves right in the middle of wealth, secrets, jealousy, and family games, making it one of the most emotionally charged love stories in modern Turkish drama. The chemistry between Afra Saraçoğlu and Mert Ramazan Demir is electric. Every argument, every tender moment, every stare feels alive. The show perfectly captures the slow transformation of Ferit, from a reckless boy into a man capable of loyalty and true love. Seyran's strength, independence, and refusal to bow down make her one of the most memorable female leads in Turkish series. Combine that with the luxurious mansion setting, gorgeous costumes, and stunning cinematography, and you have a series that pulls viewers in from episode 1. The series occasionally leans into repetitive drama, especially with jealousy and misunderstandings. Some secondary characters also get more screen time than necessary, which can slow the pacing. Still, none of this overshadows the incredible impact of the main story. However, Yalı Çapkını earns the #1 spot because it delivers everything viewers love in a forced marriage story. Fiery chemistry, slow burn transformation, family drama, emotional twists, and unpredictable romance. It manages to stay addictive with each episode, balancing comedy, heartbreak, and tension better than most modern dramas.